Now, the most relevant information for the audience, health information management professional. So as you can see, I have termed it as the dynamic, this HIM is going to be give you the dynamic career opportunities. Why? Because it combines the fields of medicine, it combines management, information systems and technology, finance, and health law. Do you see the vast, connection? So it is about medicine, management, information and technology, finance and health law. So that is why it gives you a wide dynamic opportunity. You're not going to stay as a coder. You're ready to pursue your career, you're ready to take advanced certifications, then you are going to get a dynamic career opportunities. I assure you. Next, why is it a dynamic career? You can see here, codified data is the basis of any health information management. The data is stored as codes in all the countries following the WHO classification system, which is the first 3 digits of your code. So it is stored as it is stored as codes, and it is used for analytics, decision making, predictions or innovations in healthcare. The government wants to predict, like, okay, we have to have this much amount for cardiovascular diseases. All this comes out from the codified data. So, kickstart your career in HIM with coding and billing as your base. This is the rationale that I would like to give you, why you should start off with a coding and billing career. This field doesn't compulsorily require a clinical or healthcare degree due to the diverse opportunities. But having a coding and billing knowledge is important to understand the industry. You don't understand the basic requirement of the industry, then you may fail. If you have the basic knowledge or the basic processes happening in the industry, then you are going to excel. So any academic background that you have decided to be in the HIM industry, then I would suggest you to take the coding and billing, at least a short-term course. Then, from a medical coding training point of view, the difference between people from life science background and others is knowledge of medical terminology, because I know that there are many candidates who have done your graduation in life science or allied health sciences, and you may see non-healthcare professionals with you or graduates with you, and you would think, like, what difference does it make? The difference is the knowledge in the medical terminology, not just that, your clinical knowledge. And that will accelerate the graph of a coder towards HIM professional goals. You already have a clinical knowledge, then you take the path at a faster pace. You are a non-healthcare graduate. If you're determined to gain the clinical knowledge at a faster, yes, of course, you will join the healthcare group, but you will still succeed, but you may take a longer duration, or you can volunteer to understand it better, take your time. So that's where non-healthcare graduates require long duration coaching on the job training. Now, non-healthcare graduates, I have put in like biomedical engineers, MBA graduates, statistics. Without them, the analytics cannot happen in healthcare. So that's why they should also be in this profession. Then, entry-level certifications, advanced certifications, and higher degree will be extremely beneficial for you to take to a higher level in HIM profession. It's not just the entry-level certification that you need to pursue. Like, if I tell my story, I started off with CPC, then the industry was changing. ICD-10 transition. So I had to to be in the industry, to be competent, I had to gain a ICD-10 CMPCS trainer certification, which I did, and it was a knowledge transfer to my team and other companies. So that's where then I'm climbing the ladder as an educator. So that's how you need to map your career. This is just my story. Next, moving to the next slide, why HIM career? I would say the most important of it is be in a career that drives the economy. This is where the thread is. So because healthcare conditions, irrespective of the country's economy, it doesn't stop, right? You may be affected with diseases, you are not going to look at how, your financial status is individually when I speak. You still go, you have to take the healthcare services. So it is not decided by the country's economy, but healthcare drives the country's economy. So this profession, healthcare industry, is immune to economy slowdown. Yeah, when others are affected with recession, we are not affected so much because we are immune to it because of the healthcare services. It is not dependent on anything. For those who start your professional career or those who are searching for something new, then your search ends here. This is really the best path that you can take, provided your interest decides. You should have an interest to work with patient data, learn about diseases, and work with codes. So this is what. But for non-healthcare professionals, this might just be a basic of it. You will still be doing what you have learned in your academic course. So this is a field that combines elements of information technology, science, and business. The average HIM professional salary can vary widely depending on many important factors such as position, your profile, your education, certification, additional skills, and the number of years that you have spent in this industry. You cannot become an expert in 2 years, 3 years, because it's a vast industry. There are a lot of specialty coding that happens. You cannot be an expert in dental coding. The dentist can be an expert in dental coding, but you still can gain your expertise in dental coding if you have the experience in the same. Yeah, so it's all about continuous growth. So moving on to the next. What were the traditional roles? This is to motivate the audience. I don't know, historically you would have heard it's just taking the codes. I just heard Bibin speaking about it, or it's just taking the codes or converting the health information of the codes. Yeah, those were the traditional roles of an HIM coder. They were considered as the custodians of data and information in healthcare, and they were centralized in a single department. It is in the medical records department in Asia Pacific maybe. Okay, so that's how traditionally it was. But now the future HIM tasks will be decentralized, and you can work in different departments, which will involve revenue cycle management. You want to work with a health IT organization, you can get in. Information technology, EHR data management and user support, quality management, compliance, health information exchange division, clinical documentation improvement areas. These are the future HIM tasks, and believe me, you cannot stop your career with just extracting information, interpreting it into codes. you have to be analytical. And that's really very interesting. HIM academic and continuing education programs are expanding and adapting to meet the industry's demand for a robust and dynamic HIM workforce. And that's why Mr. Dan has showed you, like, there are around 3,700 certifications of AAPC. Why? They can just stop with a CPC or a outpatient coding certification. No, they are continuously coming up with certifications. Why? Because the industry is changing. It is evolving. And certification is the entry for you. So you now, I hope, like, you now know, like, okay, I see a little bit of light in this career. And you also saw, like, he showed like the different geographies that they are in. So it's all like it's an internationally, internationally or globally, the healthcare is changing. And that's why we have to build a workforce in India too, because India is also soon will mandate the health insurance, and you may be the base to build the workforce in India too for the India government. Yeah. So the next, emerging roles of HIM professionals in a digital era. We are all moving into a digital era. You can see I have highlighted data experts. You have to be like, progressive. You should be open to change. You need to understand the industry, the HIM prospects, and move to data experts for collecting, interpreting, and analyzing health information. So that's the emerging role of HIM. Now, digital documentation and new patient payment models are rapidly changing the landscape of HIM. Now, every country is getting transition to electronic health records. So that is the digital documentation. So that's why we play an important role. Perform tasks using emerging technology and helping people across information to support in clinical decision making, research, financial management, and personal health management. These are the emerging roles. Like there are many clinical decision support systems right now making use of artificial intelligence for the physicians to support the physicians in the health care. So that is the latest. So with the knowledge that we build up, or with the experience that we gain, we reach any one of this. Revenue cycle management. This is again the key in healthcare because it determines the company's economy. So revenue cycle management is the financial process. It starts from patient to discharge, from the patient registry to discharge. So it ends up with the billing process. Every process that is included from starting from the patient registry in a hospital to the billing is revenue cycle management. Revenue cycle management has 3 sectors, and we are in the midway of it, which is the crucial as well. You can see the critical middle involves health information management and change integrity, charge integrity, clinical documentation integrity, medical coding and billing. That comes on mid phase of the revenue cycle management. Now, RCM professionals, they are the connections between health insurance companies and the doctors or the practitioners. If you are pursuing an RCM career, then you can grow to an RCM auditor or an RCM revenue integrity analyst, or you can be a revenue cycle manager. This, in other countries, especially US, you can grow to other levels also, but this is regional. I have tried to focus based on the regional side. Clinical documentation improvement specialist. If the documentation is not accurate, you're going to capture an inaccurate data. So you are going to be the one who can be specialized in clinical documentation improvement. You have a clinical academic background, you are a medical doctor who is interested to work in non-clinical side, clinical documentation improvement with HIM coding billing, best. RCM vendors and key organizations. Now they sell standalone technologies or the products for RCM systems. One is Cerner Technologies, which we have in Bangalore. Then GE Healthcare, Athena Health. There are many countries, but I have just put in for you to research on these companies, and you will get to know a lot of information in RCM. Now, where all can you work? You can work in a hospital, insurance company, or you can work for consulting firms, governmental agencies, research companies, academic institutions. I know many of you all are educators, and I'm not sure like if anybody got an opportunity to work with the insurance companies, many of you would be doing hospital coding, and you can be also in electronic health record along with the electronic health record vendors. There are many companies having HIM coders with them. So any of these, if you have a passion to work in any of these work settings, this is again a starting step. The career ladder. Now, you can see here, I have put hospital, educator, money, which is the insurance company, then analytics, consulting firms. So all these areas or research, all these areas you can work, you can build your career, and each one of the sector you will have an entry level, a middle level, or an advanced or an expert level in your career ladder. Where do you want to be? That's what you need to decide. Are you interested to work for hospitals? Then what kind of certification should I pursue, or how should my career ladder be? Or you want to work with insurance companies, you are interested in analytics, keep going. And I have worked with insurance companies, I have been an educator, I have worked for hospital coding and auditing, I have worked for consulting firms too. So this is possible, and I'm the living example. It's not just for US. We are fortunate that the US industry is outsourcing, so we can make use of those opportunities. Even the UAE, even the other countries, Saudi is getting into it. So start your career in this. So how do you find more about this? Explore LinkedIn, Indeed.com. That will list the various job opportunities. Explore these two job portals and you will get to know a lot about the industry. And American AAPC, they also list a lot of selection of jobs. Many of us are AAPC members, but we don't explore the website. They have many free tools. You want to improve your coding skill, get into AAPC. There are many free tools. There are many, informative tools regarding the payment system in US. You just need to explore, get a guide. Then, when considering a professional change, if there are any graduates who is thinking like, should I go in HIM career or should I just continue with whatever I have graduated in, then you need to ask, am I running towards something or away from something? That determines the success. Your advancement to higher levels in the ladder depends on various factors. Now, you are a coder. You cannot just dream of having a high-level HIM profession. Your quality of work determines. You cannot simply extract some codes and say like, okay, I am a coder. No. You have to gain quality coding expertise, the integrity and the level of skills. Suppose you are an outpatient coder. You cannot simply say, you know what, I did the basics of education in coding. Can I be an inpatient coder? No. You will have to get the training, or you have to develop the skills in inpatient coding, because the payment system is different. It's vast. Every sector is really, vast. So you need to improve the level of skills in that, and then you climb the ladder. Now this is what you can think about. The roadmap creation. Know where you want to go. Explore the industry. Focus on tools, competencies you need. The tools. Business intelligence tools are one of the biggest in healthcare. I'm not sure, have you heard about SAS? You've heard about Python, SQL, even the simple thing, Excel. Now with the emerging roles, you need to gain the skill in the tools. The competencies would mean like specialty coding or analytics certification or whatever. Find a guide. As I told you, I always keep in touch with my mentor or the people who gave me the job. I'm still in touch with them. Why? Because I want a guide. Anybody, any country. You will get to know about the industry, and you will know what you need to do. Be open to changing your route, continuing education. Again, there's no stop in your education here. You will continue. I'm very interested in project management. So I am getting the Scrum certification. That is usually taken by software. But am I stopping? No. Because my job involves project management. So that's where the passion to continue your education is important for your success. So I just created a regional career chart, because you will find many career chart in AAPC or AHIMA website, but as Indian professionals, you may be doubting like, oh, that's in US industry, can we reach there? This is what I have researched and put in. Your entry level, I have put in as 0 to 3 years, where you may be certified or non-certified, or you may be an apprentice. That is 0 to 3 years, and professional level is 4 to 10 years, where you are certified coders and you are professionals, gained experience in different specialty of coding, or you can be in the expert level, which I have tagged as more than 10 years of experience. So here you go, entry level, you can be a mapping officer. You can be an AR calling or an AR follow-up personnel, clinical data clerk associate, or a certified medical coder, junior medical coder. You are working with the hospitals, then you can be medical coding, you can do medical coding, you can be a beginner in billing, you can do AR follow-ups, claims process associates. Claims process associates. Yeah, you may think like, I have completed my coding certification, but I am not getting it. I'm not seeing any job portals advertising saying medical coder required. No. Now the industry is changing. You may find other terms that are relevant to you. It may start with a claims processing associate. So again, the task involves coding and billing. So it would be a good profile that you can choose from an entry level. Next is professional level, where you can be a clinical documentation improvement associate, certified HIM coder, or an educator. By educator, you may be a trainer. Denials management, you can be functioning as a denials management professional, clinical data analyst, senior medical coder, health quality indicator developer, business intelligence data analyst. Here again, how can I become a business intelligence data analyst? Yeah, you have gained your knowledge in coding and billing in this 3 years. You have heard business intelligence tools are in. I will have to do a course in the business intelligence tool. You gain that skill, then you can be a business intelligence data analyst. You can be a claims analyst. Expert level. Once you are more than 10 years, you can be a clinical quality measure analyst. I'll talk about quality measure development in the next slides. Then advanced SAS or BI analyst, testing analyst. Now these two, a bioinformatics personnel or a statistician who has achieved a certification in billing and coding can be as advanced SAS or BI analyst, healthcare fraud and abuse detection analyst, revenue integrity auditor, clinical. So it's huge. So this is how I've classified, but it depends on various organizations. Now in my company we have claims analyst, we have BI data analyst, we have coders working as quality measure developers. All these are the things that is happening. It's not imagination. So these are the job titles of HIM professionals. You can see how many. So in this, what I would like to say is, like, I'm sure many of you all would have joined a life science course or a healthcare graduation course with a dream, and you may not have reached anywhere in that, or you're not sure, like you may think like India is not developed enough to have a lucrative career in what you have pursued, or you have joined without any interest in whatever graduation you took, but you had a passion towards teaching. There are many of us who do something else, but always you have a passion, and the passion is towards teaching. You get this career, then you can be a educator or a trainer. You always like numbers. You wanted to be a statistician, but unfortunately you got into the life science stream. The life never ends. Get into this. First, you can get your passion done here. You can be an analyst and make use of your passion towards numbers. You were interested to be in the corporate. You wanted to be a director of something. Yeah. Take this. You have many options. You are interested in research. Get into the clinical trial, or start your career as a clinical data manager or a management associate. You will still be in the research field. So that's why I put in the job titles, to let you know that the life doesn't stop here. You can just reach many roles that you wanted to be. So Bipin was telling, like, lot of the coders believe they cannot be billers, or the billers believe they cannot be coders. So there is a confusion. So I just thought, like, I will talk about the difference between health information coders and insurance medical billers. What are they? What is the difference? If you look in the AAPC website, they say, like, billers are they work more with the patients and claim submissions. Why do they work with patients? Is because they are responsible to follow up with the patients with respect to billing, to pay the bill, or to get the claims done for the insurance companies. So they work more with the patients and the billing side. But still, you need to have a knowledge in codes because codes are translated to charges. Now, what do the coders do? The coders actually work with healthcare professionals, with the doctors, clinicians within the hospital, to accurately categorize the services and products provided to patients. So medical coding is increasingly used nowadays to create a proper record of patient care, to streamline the medical billing process, accelerate payments, identify the healthcare areas that require focus. So coders work with the healthcare professionals itself, whereas the billers work with patients and the billing, the claim submission with the insurance company. So that's the major difference. A bit about coding, I know you all know about it, but this is very important. Like earning an HIM or HIT bachelor degree or master's degree can strengthen a coder's career. However, it's not required to show the proficiency. What is required is a solid foundation in anatomy, physiology, and medical terminology education. And APC offers different types of certification in coding, auditing, medical documentation, specialty coding. CPC is a basic, like an apprentice, kind of your stepping stone. Then, once you gain experience, you should take progress with your advanced certifications in auditing, medical documentation, specialty coding, compliance, certification, lot many. The clinical coding, it requires highly skilled tasks that requires considerable training and extensive knowledge. So you have a clinical background, it's a plus. This I have just put in, like thinking like many of you all would be confused, because HIM is an umbrella. Now would I fit in there? That's the reason why I thought this slide is important. The clinical branches, those who have done your graduation in clinical branches such as medicine, dental, nursing, physiotherapy, they can work in any of these, but they outshine in the hospital setting because they have an experience with the clinical side of it, treating the patients. So they understand it better from a physician's point of view. So I have just tagged this as hospital setting, specialty coders, auditors, clinical validators, quality measure officers, subject matter experts in health information technology. These people with the clinical branches excel in that. It doesn't mean that others cannot. Non-clinical branches such as microbiology, pathology, biochemistry, they are very good with the payer side, billing side. They can also get into specialty coding, insurance verification, pharmaceutical industry, pharma coders, the best. Clinical data management, clinical research. I have also put in a third branch, which is health informatics and biostatistics. It includes biomedical, clinical research, and public health. There again, they do all these using data, which is the codified data. Now, these sectors can excel as population health analyst, healthcare data analyst, clinical data analyst. The clinical background people, the first sector, with the knowledge in the tools, the analytical tools, can also be very good in as population health analyst or healthcare data analyst. You just need to upgrade your skill. Now, HIM Coding Association. You can see, I've just put in 4 countries, but you have seen from Mr. Dan's slide, I was surprised, Brazil is in. I didn't know. So this is what, like I've just put in like, United States, Canada, UK and Australia, thinking like many of the people in India migrate to these countries. So these are the organizations for clinical coding or HIM in all these countries. Now you have decided after your graduation, you think that you want to migrate or you want to pursue your higher studies in another country. This is again a very good start. You can go and study visa, but you have a certification in all these, you get a job too. And you can complete your education and come back. So this is great. Because it is these certifications are internationally recognized. I have many of my colleagues who have migrated to Canada and they work there, but each country have their own certification, but WHO's classification is the base. That's the logic behind it. You know the classification system. You know the first 3 digits. You have done the US coding. Canada is fine. But you may have to, if you decide to stay in the same thing, then you may have to get the country's certificate. Isn't it interesting? Yeah. So it's not just that we are embracing the outsourced work. You can develop yourself like, and then get experience in different countries. Medical billing. I think I'll go at a faster, because we have already talked about it, the medical billing. But I would like to emphasize medical billers also should be certified. You can work as non-certified, but you want to build your career, then certification is important. You work for 3 years, then get your certification. We are always skeptical to write any competitive exams, right? We are always, am I going to get it done? Is it going to be a waste of money? Is it really important? Unless you try, you will never know. If you're not going to try, you will never be pursuing any certification. But you try, you get in one payment, I think you have multiple times you can attempt, multiple attempts. So the first thing that you need to do is in HIM career, throw away your fear. Am I going to clear the exam or not? You have to, because you will get it done. You will work to it. So Bipin was telling, like, he was talking to me and said, like, many of the coders or the billers who pass out from his institute, they are not ready to take up the AR follow-up task. So I thought I'll just elaborate on why you can be there, especially like, during the start of your career. This is basic. You can understand how the financial process is happening, and that is very important for you to become a quality HIM professionals. Because money is all about everything. It's very important. You cannot have, create a revenue loss for the work that you are doing. So AR follow-up is very important. It creates financial stability. Claims denied is followed by the AR follow-up people. Minimize the time for outs. I'm not going to go into it. But the roles and responsibilities of AR specialist. You can be an AR, you can be in AR analytics field or AR follow-up. What is AR analytics? You are studying and analyzing the denied claims. Now when the claims are rejected, claims are the medical bills, it will be in codes. The coders who are working in AR analytics will know what are the reasons for its rejection. So the coders, they analyze the denied, or the billers, they analyze the denied claims, and if they want an advice from an expert team, then they pass it to the coding team, and then they resubmit the claims. So you are still in the medical coding. You are still in HIM by doing this. This is part of HIM actually, revenue cycle management. Then the AR follow-up is where you communicate with the patients. You are good in customer service, you're good in communication, then you can get in. Next is about the project prospects in HIM and HIM integrated projects. This, it is important for the audience or if any organizations who are in, you can really think about because the return of investment is huge. First, I would like to cover about data analytics technology, automation, and cost containment programs in the industry, which transitions HIM coders and billers to healthcare data analyst. What do healthcare data analysts do? They gather, interpret healthcare data from data sources such as electronic health record. They provide actionable insights that physicians, clinical researchers, or decision makers and other governmental organizations can use. So that's where the healthcare data analyst, that's what the healthcare data analyst will do. They're actually interpreting the healthcare data. The data is coded by the coders. Now they interpret the data and they provide actionable insights. Suppose bariatric surgery. It could be for weight loss, for medical reasons, or for cosmetic purposes. If the bariatric surgery trends is getting higher, is it because we have more obese patients? Or is it because people are more cosmetically inclined? Should the government bear for it? Should the insurance company pay for it? Or are the providers or the hospitals or the physicians doing it unnecessarily? Now, all these trends and how much they need to forecast from a financial perspective is all done by the healthcare data analyst. Now, healthcare analyst projects that offer new expertise for HIMR, which means these projects are going to give you more expertise as HIM professionals. First is fraud and abuse detection projects, population health information management, cost optimization projects, and quality improvement models towards value-based care. Value-based care in the sense you're getting the care for the value that you're spending. It's more towards value than volume. So these are the projects that will take you to gaining new expertise in HIM. What is fraud-based abuse? We have solutions. And I have worked with firms that create solutions for fraud abuse waste detection. My domain expertise is in coding. What do I do there? I function as a subject matter expertise, or I help them to create models, automated rules that will prompt the technology to flag. I've used like identify the red flags. And I work as an integrated team with health IT. So that's what health fraud, waste, and abuse detection solutions do. They are actually flagging, like, you cannot audit a record by record. They use the coded data, and it's a large data set that they use. And then they identify the trend that is happening. CTs, more. Is there a fraud and abuse detection? So there are rules that will flag for that we incorporate the clinical guidelines. That is done by the HIM professionals, by the way. They are called as subject matter experts in such projects. We create models with the relevant code sets, and that is going as the input in the technology, and it will flag automatically. Then example is like these two, like over, this is just couple of examples, there are many. Then for providers, It's like automating the process to detect the denials before the insurance company denies it. Complete picture of all these, but at least I try to give you a basic of it. HIM in healthcare quality and patient safety. Don't you think, like, when you spend money on your health, you want to get the best healthcare service. So the base of it starts from here. The patient safety measures and quality. I would like to give examples. You may be wondering, what is patient safety? And why is it important? Have you heard about hospital-acquired infections? Yes? Do you want it to let it be like that, or you want to improve the quality of the care provided by that organizations? We don't, so US is the biggest thing. They are actually trending the hospital's performance with respect to patient safety. There are many patient safety measures with respect to drug safety. You may see, like, many patients, spend a lot of money because of the adverse reactions that happened with a drug. Is that your fault? Don't know. Or a hospital-acquired infection. Not your fault. Or you got admitted for an infection, but after you get discharged, you are again getting readmitted. Do you think the quality of care was good? Why should you get readmitted? So what happens? You are spending more. For the first admission, you spend, then the second readmission again. That's increasing the cost. You don't want to do that. You want to have the best physicians in the hospitals to improve performance. So, that is what it means by quality and patient safety measures. Now, with the patient safety, I talked about the adverse reactions, the avoidable readmissions. With the quality healthcare, like, you can look at, like, the number of physicians who are doing appendectomy or bariatric surgery or the new evolving technology services, and you are actually tagging them and improving the quality of the care done by the hospital. So I hope you just got at least the basic of what is quality and patient safety care, and we do play a role in that. Now, what are the work settings? These are the work settings that you can work as a health data analyst, which is health insurance companies, large hospitals, large physician practice groups. Small hospitals do not implement this. So large hospitals, then healthcare consulting companies, or the government organizations. Now the certifications. When I talk about health data analytics, if you are an entry level personal into this, you may be wondering, really, I am not sure. So you can see, AAPC has published many write-ups about medical coding as the vital to healthcare data analytics. I have put in a link also, because it's so important. When I talk, it is like credible. So you can open up and read about it. And now AHIMA has come up with CHDA certification also. So I was talking to Mr. Dan, so he said that they're working towards it. So why would these organizations come up with certification in health data analytics for coders or HIM professionals? Because you do have a role to play. Then, if you want to be an analyst, you need to have these attributes. You really need to have a passion for the technology. There are many courses in BI tools like SAS, SQL, Python. If you're new towards this, just explore it. These are required if you want to get an entry into pharmaceutical industry. Lot of openings for the coders as clinical data managers. Clinical trials. You do this. Attention to detail, number crunching, enjoy solving complex problems. The most important, which I have experienced, is your collaboration and communication. Because you are going to work with an integrated team. It's not just the coders. You want to work with the integrated team, which could be the technology team. So when you are communicating, they should be able to understand. So your collaboration is so important because it is also important for knowledge sharing. So these attributes are really very important. Next, this is really interesting. The convergence of HIM and HI, health informatics with health information management. So I will not go the detail of it, but these are the differences of HIM and HI. Like few of it would be like we are into coding systems, internal structure, billing and clinical documentation and the rules, but health informatics are into theoretical underpinnings of data standards, taxonomy, clinical data representation. We are, and they are into computer science and system design. We are into implementation of EHR systems. So there's a difference, but these branches will converge or join together to create healthcare improvement projects. So it is like an HIM professional should have a basic knowledge of the health informatics, like the vice versa. So if they have a basic coding and billing knowledge, then you are the expert. So you can see like the roles that you can play are data integration specialist, healthcare data analyst, data specialist. These are, and all this, don't forget, codes, charge captures with technology. Now, clinical data management, pharmaceutical industry. I always, say like, why are we using like medical coding for the hospital setting? Like, the term medical. I mean, they are actually clinical coders. Because you are actually dealing with the clinical side of it. You're actually dealing with the patient care. You're actually looking at the documentation of a physician. So it is your clinical knowledge. So you're basically clinical coders. The medical coders, absolutely. They are interpreting the clinical information. They are extracting it, converting it into codes. Or you may have computer-assisted coding systems. You will be validating. As clinical coders, you will be validating. And that is where your opportunity lies in pharmaceutical companies for clinical trials or clinical data management. You can see here. These are the dictionaries, the standard dictionaries that is inbuilt with the EHR or their technology. This is like MEDRA, which has the coding of adverse effects and medical history events. Then there is WHO's drug dictionary, which is the ATC drug map drugs, drug codes. These are inbuilt. So it is like an automated system where they get the codes, but they are in requirement because now it's all about insights. It is about decision making. So they are in need of qualified coding personnel to validate the automated codes. You just go back, explore. Coders in medical and pharmaceutical industry, you get it. So as I said, I have discussed like population health information management. I told you I'll just little bit detail about it. So this is what it is about. Population health management is about keeping a patient population as healthy as possible. Or you want to reduce, and also you want to reduce the need for expensive interventions like tests, emergency department visits, hospitalizations and procedures. So that's what it does. So you're actually looking at the population with respect to health as well as the expense. So population health data will need to be available for, sorry, I think I was not audible. So the population health information that requires accurate ICD-10. That's about your disease. CPT, about your procedures. Or you want to see the dental services that has been done. The LOINC, that's about the labs. Everything is converted into codes. Or the SNOMED CT, that is used by India. So that's again codes, but it's not the US classification, but these are required as the input to give you an output or the picture about the status of a population or the expense that is spent by an insurance company or large hospitals. So HIM professionals once again assume a leadership role in information governance, clinical knowledge integrity and quality data analytics. So we are again the key there. I just thought I'll give you a picture about what health information. This is one of the latest and it's really important for any country. So this is just a sample dashboard, a visual. This is one of our projects that we did, but I just thought I'll just give you an idea. It'll just give you an idea. You can see, like, I don't know whether you can see it here, but this is a category of gestational diabetic patients, new cases of insulin treatment for diabetes and diabetes with complication. You can see the graph there. It gives like the rate at which it goes. If you look at it, like, the female member count with the diabetes with complication is like 36.5%, whereas the male member count is 63.5%. Diabetes with complications. You are diagnosed as diabetes, you don't want to get into a complication, right? You don't want to have kidney failures, you don't want to have cardiac issues, or you don't want to have chronic ulcers or amputations. So this determines, now I'm giving an insight like this. You know what? 63.5% of the population, the male population, is more with the diabetic complication. Now the hospitals will know, or the government will know where do they need to act, or the insurance companies. So it's the male population that they need to focus, and you can also see like the diabetes with population, the age-wise, 18 to 44, 45 to 64, it's increasing. So for hospitals, they will know, like, we need to target on the population at the age of 45 to 65. For insurance company, they know like the contracting, how should we negotiate. 45 to 65, you're more prone to getting complications of diabetes. Even if you cover for your insurance, they get an idea about how they need to do the financial management. So that's how it goes, like, you with individual patient data, you do not get a picture of it. This actually enhances the country's health care, the quality of health care. This is another picture, incidence of respiratory tract infection. I put this because respiratory tract infection, we think like, oh, it's just upper respiratory tract infection, it's just a cold, it's just a common thing. But you see the money that is spent by the insurance companies, like, it's like $3 billion for epiglottis. Can you believe? Or a common flu. It's a huge amount of money that they spend, the insurance company. So what do? What is the actionable insight? They come up with flu vaccinations. Flu vaccination may not cost as much as they spend for an admission with a respiratory tract infection. Are you getting the concept of it? Yeah? So that is why it is important for a cost-effective care, at the same time quality of care. So again, we play a role, and I'm still in a project with population health management. So, and there are many companies doing this. Clinical decision support systems. This is something new. I have not got an opportunity to work with it, but it is interesting that using artificial intelligence, the health IT companies are designing clinical decision support systems wherein the patient's health information is integrated into the EHR, and it is designed to provide physicians and other health professionals with clinical decision support. The clinical guidelines are integrated into it. Continuing to my example, low back pain. When can you prescribe for a high diagnostic test? It prompts. There are lot many things. I have not had any experience working with it, but this is something in. So next, about the global market. I need not have to elaborate on it. You can research about the global market in healthcare industry. You will get a lot of readings about it, but it's huge. It is estimated as 28.3% in the forecast period. And the growth in healthcare IT and analytics industry are projected to drive the RCM market. RCM market is where we are in. The growth in the healthcare IT, because factors such as government initiatives to increase the EHR adoption, or the growing pressure on healthcare to provide cost-effective care, or to curb the healthcare spending, and the patient outcomes, emergence of big data in healthcare. All this drive the growth of the market. So that, when that is projected to drive the RCM market, it is lucrative for us. Now this is, many of us hope to, get a job in UAE or any other country. Now this is the Fortune Business Insights for 2019 to 2026. You can see North America is still the leading in the global RCM market. This is the RCM market. The previous slide was about the global market in healthcare. The RCM market, North America is still leading with high insurance coverage because they have already mandated the health insurance for their citizens. Then outsourcing is the key market player. They outsource. Then Middle East and Africa, they have huge high incidence of lifestyle diseases, and they are also ambitious to have good medical infrastructure projects. They are coming up with new HIT ventures. So and the payment system is changing. They are also getting transitioned into electronic health record. Then we have a scope there in Middle East. Europe and Asia Pacific, rising adoption of RCM services, trend of outsourcing. You would not have heard, we were talking about the Europe and Asia Pacific trend. So the US, they're already, and the UAE, yeah, they are starting to outsource. But however, Europe, you wouldn't have heard lots. But there is a trend of outsourcing that is setting in. And there is a rise in startup companies. So you have a scope there too. So this is about the Fortune Business Insights published for 2019 to 2026. Are you all happy to see the slide? India. Oh, are we going to make this happen here? Yes, the government is into this. There is a national health portal published, like I have given the website, which actually describes the health record IT standards and medical terminology and coding standards. The WHO, we use SNOMED CT. And Kerala, have you ever explored e-health? I have attended a seminar by the CDAC for training SNOMED CT because Kerala has adopted SNOMED CT, which again includes codes, and they are using the US healthcare codes. So this is again, you can explore. Now we are just in the starting phase. And now I see young faces, I see mid-level faces. Now the mid-level faces, you can be the experts to guide a HIM community in India. The entry level, you are good to go because we are going to advance. You will get opportunities in governmental sectors. Now courts has been used in India for research purposes. One example is Srijitra Research Institute. There are coders. One of my colleagues is working there for research. We don't use it for billing. That's the difference. Now with the government's initiatives, insurance is getting mandated. So obviously we are in demand. Global outlook, healthcare fraud. This I just put in because this is one of the biggest. We don't if the countries don't control the revenue loss, then the HIM cannot succeed. Because you look at the Saudi has estimated the kingdom's health insurers are losing 15% of their revenues for fraudulent claims. You look at Qatar. Qatar is the biggest example because they implemented the insurance. They were into HIM, revenue cycle management. But in 2013, they just trickled down. Why? Because of the fraud and abuse and overspending of the Qatar government. So Qatar is taking a slow pace because the key reason was because of the fraud and abuse that happened. They came up with mandated insurances, but the hospitals and the providers were misutilizing it. So the government couldn't continue with it. Now they are into it. They're again starting with a streamlined process. UAE outlook. In UAE, the insurance is mandated, but they're just getting into the technology side of it. They have just mandated the payment models. They are just getting into the re-engineering of the RCM processes. So you have got huge opportunities there. Hospitals with EHR, they need coders to code. There are a lot of hospitals in there in UAE, so you always have an opportunity there. But at the same time, evaluating the Qatar's situation, they are also into fraud and abuse detection because they don't want to cripple down. So there again, the analytics people, experienced coders have, or billers have an opportunity there. You also have an opportunity in insurance company because insurance companies, it's a huge bunch there because it's mandated. Now, this profession is a marathon. You can't stop. It's a long way to go. Now, I have put in the skill sets required for as an HIM professional, but I myself considers passion to learn, the detail-oriented attribute, and the analytical skills. You also need to have good interpreting skills because the doctors document based on the care that they give. You have got to have the knowledge to interpret in the right direction. Communication, important. So you need not have very good communication when you start off your career, but you will have to focus on developing the same. That's important for your growth. So as the industry transitions to paper to electronic health record, it is important for HIM professionals to expand their profession's growing body of knowledge through research and scholarship. It is your responsibility, your ethical duty as an advanced HIM to pursue an advanced HIM knowledge and practice through continuing education. APC have a lot of webinars, online webinars. Look through it. Which is the side that interests you. In a year, you can just budget how much you want to spend, or you can suggest your organization to spend on it. So continuing education, research, publications, and presentations. All these are important to understand the continuous change that is happening in the industry. Continuing education, I have created a separate slide for us because it is the key towards success. Map out your career from non-certified to certified professionals. You did not achieve your certification, fine. Have you got a training in HIM? Good to go. There are a lot of entry-level jobs. But as you gain experience, target to get certified. Map your career like that. First, I'll be non-certified. It's okay, but I will volunteer myself to any hospitals or any outsourcing companies. I gain the experience, or I do an internship program. I get into claims processing or clinical data clerks, but focus on getting certified. Then you get into where you want to be. Now, formal HIM and HI educational programs exist both in US and Canada to prepare individuals to write credentialing exams. There are a lot of master's degree, baccalaureate programs. Any medical doctors who are interested to join this, yes, there are a lot of master's or baccalaureate programs in the US. You want to do a higher studies in abroad, take this, HIM or health informatics. You can be the director of one of the outsourcing company. Certification. It provides you with added expertise and demonstrates a level of competency and dedication that you can stand out. You stand out when you are a certified professional. You stand out from your crowd, from the crowd. So that's why certifications are important. Now, you want to move into the next generation of HIM profession, then understand the technology. You need not have to program something, or you need not have to be a software professional, but you need to be able to converse. You need to demonstrate that you understand how the technology or the programs are functioning. So that is important, because you can function as a subject matter expertise. You can validate. Now, for the end user, is your product giving you the right, is your product fulfilling the requirement of the end user? You are the one, you can actually play a part in it. Today's medical coders and health information managers are in an increasingly digital field. So in the future, medical coders and billers need to not only understand the importance and application of new coding technology, but it should also be able to use tools. You can start off with the Excel. Beautiful. Then you can get into, I have been trying that. Now, HIM reimagined. I know that those who have done your certification, or this is from my experience too. When I started off my career, I was focused on HIM coding. Then I was lucky enough that, we got some projects in analytics, and then I got exposed to analytics, and then I realized this is versatile, this is huge. And when I started off my career, I was looking for, it's like, I didn't find much of opportunities stating medical coding. The job portals now, because the HIM profession is reimagined, they don't publish it as medical coders job opening. You look at any portal, you may find any of these alternative terms. And if you look at the responsibilities, you will realize, this is what I learned, this is what I do. So these titles, using the alternative, hunt for these alternative terms in job portals to identify the emerging roles apart from coding billing terms. Hunt for medical claims processor, you will see, this is what you learned as a coder or a biller. Claims adjudication officers, you work for insurance companies. This is really interesting, claims adjudication. It's all about the coding and billing rules, validating it. Clinical fraud investigator, you can be a clinical validator. You will see denial specialist. Again, it's all about, they will be asking, the requirement would be AAPC certification or AHIMA certification. But because you don't hunt for this, you may not find it. From the hospital side, revenue cycle management auditor, risk adjustment coder, provider audit analyst, DRG validator. You will be looking like inpatient coder. Oh, I am not finding any jobs. Then they actually be publishing it as DRG validators. DRG is the payment system that is followed in inpatient coding. So you are actually auditing the DRGs. Health information specialist, population health analyst. Now you know. They have published it. Could be it is for the medical coders or the billers. So clinical terminologist, that's again an entry level. Clinical specialist for CDSs, that's kind of advanced, or you need to be a subject matter expert. So these are the other alternative terms that you can use to hunt for it. Now, I would like to conclude with this, saying like HIM is a vast and varied field, and you can offer multiple roles. You can actually pursue your passion as a researcher, as an educator, analyst. You want to work in a health IT industry. This is it. The important part that you need to remember is diversity is important. Gaining experience to build your resume. Now your entry-level job was a hospital coder. Do you want to remain as a hospital coder? Think about building your resume. No, I would like to acquire experience with respect to insurance coding and billing. I would like to gain experience with respect to clinical trials. I would like to have an exposure to in the pharmaceutical industry. That's again building your resume, and you will reach a stage where you will find the job that matches with your skills in huge, with huge amount. So build up your resume with the varying skills, but you need to take up the responsibility for your education, reading online materials, workshops, like the coding and billing institutions, it's like Sigma can conduct workshops in between, but the audience or the professionals should understand that it's important to keep up the knowledge or upgrade your knowledge by attending these workshops or webinars or what is published by AAPC or AHIMA. So I have just put in the lead companies. There are a lot of companies in Trivandrum, in Cochin, a lot of companies, but I have just put in these companies thinking you should project you the diverse roles. You look at any of these companies, look in the LinkedIn profiles. You will find AAPC certified coders, billers working. Did you even imagine that you can get into Cotiviti or you can get into Quest Diagnostics? Quest Diagnostics and IQVIA, they are the pharmaceutical companies. Cognizant, they are doing a lot of health analytics. So these, I just put in the Accenture. Yeah. So these companies do whatever we discussed as the roles. And in Technopark, we have Navigant. In Trivandrum, we have Navigant and Synoda Health Information Process. Then many other companies, M Square Technologies, everybody, they are all into HIM. So you still have a doubt, explore LinkedIn, Google, coders, AAPC, use the key terms, AAPC, coders. In TCS, you will get profiles. AAPC coders in DXC technology, there is a very great technology. I look forward to be there. She is one of a medical doctor who did her medical coding certification. Then she got into DXC technology, which was HP. Then now she is into project management. She has done the PMP. where all she is growing. Explore the LinkedIn profile. Just Google. You just need to Google and put in the companies. Wipro. You will get it. So this is one example for me to be credible for whatever I have spoke. The rest is now. That's all we conclude. So it was great speaking to you all, and thank you very much for being so patient. And I'm not sure in between if I was not audible, but I'm here. You can ask any questions, even in Malayalam. Fine. I can answer.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we have much clearer idea on the topic. You have shed light on many pertinent areas of HIM, and we are very thankful for that. So from the audience, anyone, any questions, queries, doubts, feedbacks? Anyone? Any student? Okay.
See, I'm Rajesh. I'm a Vice President of the company Cascade Revenue Management. And I have one question to you. You said HIM, the degree courses. Actually, I am fond of doing a lot of courses, certification. I got CCAT and then CPAT from Mahima. I just want to know what is the HIM degree courses which will be useful for the folks as well as.
HIM courses, Manipal Institute, you explore. If you want to do it in India, you explore the Manipal University, you will see a lot of health information in health informatics courses. That if you want to do your course in abroad, there are a lot of health information management, bachelor or postgraduate qualification published by different universities. One is I recently found Duke University coming up with an online data analytics course. I explored. I applied. I thought I'll apply, but then I saw it was huge amount of money. Then I inquired for a scholarship. So it is all at this age. I see a lot of younger faces who has just graduated. You just need to spread your wings. This is a wonderful field that you can get in. There are a lot of baccalaureate programs which will be like a 1-year course, and after which you can get your RHIA, RHIT certification. What is RHIA, RHIT? It is like Registered Health Information Technology. It is one of the best certification. It is done in US now. Now you get a degree in health information management from the US. You're good to go to pursue this. RHIA, RHIT. You can be the leader. So there are master's degree, bachelor's degree, baccalaureate programs in any of the countries that you are interested. Australia, yeah, you can go in student's visa. You can get a scholarship too. So it all depends upon, I hope I have.
There is no higher motivation than being recognized for our hard work and effort. We are here honoring and awarding the people who have put in many hours of hard work in coding and billing industry to make it what it is today. For our next section, I will now like to invite Mr. Dan Schobach to come on the stage. Sir Sarfraz, President Mr. Bipin Balan. Well, our first award is for Outstanding Performer, and it goes to Krishna Sridharan, who is currently working as Medical Summarization Associate in Dog Giant. Krishna.
Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, my dear friends and all others, it's a very great honor for me to stand here today. I am sincerely grateful to Sir Vipin and the entire Sigma team for achieving this goal. and especially our exam preparation session was very much helpful for me to achieve this goal, and the timely guidance provided by my teachers, my trainers throughout this course also helped me a lot. Thank you all. Once again, thank you, sir. Thank you, Sigma. Wish you all great success ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna. We are also honoring the lead sponsor of this event. We thank Sigma for coming forward and shouldering the vital responsibility of sponsoring this grand event. I will now like to call upon the director of Sigma, Mrs. Bibin Balan, to receive the certificate of appreciation. May the vigor and dedication your institute has put forward be a benchmark for other institutions to come forward and put their hand up to sponsor even grander events for our local chapter in future. We have been treated to an hour of invaluable knowledge by CG Susan ma'am. She has left no stone unturned into imparting knowledge pertaining to career goals in HIM. And we like to honor her with certificate of appreciation. Ma'am, could you please stand? To thank and honor the chief guest for the day, Mr. Dan, a senior vice president AAPC. A moment for someone's time. And sir, I like to tell you that this particular portrait of yours has been made by one of our well-wishers, Mr. Shah, and I should tell this that he made this while sir was giving his speech. Just right now in the hall while sir was giving his speech, this portrait was made. Isn't that fabulous? To pick up those bands, and why are you wearing it right now? Any idea? Any idea? Okay, we all are here to what? To do what? To make new connections, right? To meet new people, to gain knowledge. So is it only for today? Of course not. So the purpose of this is we will be creating 4 WhatsApp groups pertaining to different colors being allotted. So you will be added to these groups right now, right away. And these will be valid till the next local chapter. So you can share all the information pertaining to medical coding and billing and HIM and whatsoever on this group. It will be strictly professional. It will be about the job availability or any queries that you want to get solved or any answers you want to any problems. It can be solved on this group. No good morning, good night. Happy Onam messages, please. Thank you. So, first slide. So this, as you can see, this is for green color, people who are having green color bands. So you need to type https://bit. Basically, you need to type this. So you can, this login ID will directly get you access to the WhatsApp group pertaining to green. Okay, you can either take picture of this
We will also display this outside on the notice board so you can get access. You need to type this link on the browser and get access to the WhatsApp group. Okay, next slide. This is for blue. You need to type this. Make sure you type it correctly to small k, small v, capital S 268. Make sure you also type the signs, the colon and the slash, everything, so that you get access to the WhatsApp group. Okay? Thank you. Next slide. Orange, for those who hold orange band. So this is your login ID. Kindly take a picture. Make sure you type it correctly to gain the access. The next group, white. So this is your login ID for white. Make sure you type it correctly. 2, small k, small s, capital O, capital X, N, F. So now you have been added to this family, and you can share all your doubts, queries, etc. on this group. Thank you. Thank you.
We had a wonderful day so far, and I will now like to call upon our educational officer, Mrs. Usha Damodaran, to come up on stage and to wrap up the events for the day with her vote of thanks and acknowledge everyone for making this event a grand success. Ma'am, can we have you on stage? Yeah, okay. Please give her a big round of applause. Thank you.
Good afternoon all, and see, the successfully come to an end this event. So, see, I thank wholeheartedly Mr. Dan Shabak and Senior Vice President of AAPC US, then Mr. Safas, International Officer, and for your esteemed presence and valuable guidance too in this functions you bestowed. The wholehearted participation and cooperation of Miss C.G. Sujan Joy, and that was very memorable. Really, it's a very, you have shared so many years, 16 years of experiences, really very great to hear. 1.5 hours is very, very nice, and not even taking my eyes out of this. And you're very understandable and very good. So many things you have shared. So what is coming out in future is also very, very valuable things. So it's very memorable. And I thank the officials of AAPC Kerala local chapters were of great help and in organizing and materializing these functions. I thank them all for their cooperation and support in this venture. I thank all the representatives of medical coding companies and institutions for undertaking this conference. And I thank all the trainers and students, volunteers, and all others. Without their supports, can't be this much successful. This event comes to an successful. Now, above all, I thank Sigma Medical Coding Academy for sponsoring this event. I'm very thankful to Mrs. Bipin Ball, Neetu Bipin, for your support. So above all, you know, this is not going to happen in overnight. So we do have to work for a long things, and we have to finalize the things very perfectly. So I thank Mr. Bipin Balan, President of Kerala, AAPC local chapter, for his prolonged and strenuous efforts in organizing this event, which is the first of its kind in Kerala. Really, sir was working for a long hours for a past week. We can't see him in front of us. He's really put on his hard work and for your presence, for strengthening you, strengthening all the coders in this medical coding industries to make you So this much putting efforts shouldn't go waste. We'll see you the next event. We have discussed about that we are going to have 4 another events in a year. So coming years, we all have to come, and your participation is very important, and make it this successful, and make yourself also very knowledgeable about what is coming. It's going to come. It's a pipeline. Here it is starting only. See, we do have to go for this CU points at webinars. We don't have time to go because all of us working in ITs. So they then go give this leaves and all to go and attend that in Chennai and in this Bangalore and all. So we are here in Kerala. So you can come here and attend this and get it knowledge more about it. It's a what all wide opportunities are there, and so you should know not only as chief guest and all said, no, not the small things that you have wide opportunities in this industry, medical coding industry, and as well as medical building as well. So if you know basic things, you can reach to any level. As ma'am said, you are the freshers of the faces. So you can reach to a level in your coming 5 or 6 years experiences, 10 of your experiences, and gaining, first of all, you gain the knowledge, basic knowledge, and do the codings. Coding, not only codings, and know about, like as ma'am said, things are analytical things. Analyze the things. What is coding? What all about coding? How to? Efficiency and accuracy is important in coding. And finally, I thank you all with my whole bottom of heart. Like being an education minister, education officer, so I'll be thanking all of you for coming here and putting your valuable times and getting knowledgeable. Getting knowledge, when you go out, remember, take one moment to think about what you have gained here. Think about that, what you gained here, and make it practice. If you're going out and see, you will be forgetting. Take one moment here itself and think about what is widest opportunities are available in the medical and coding companies, and get it, use it, and try to get it into committed to do the in medical coding industries. And moving forward, we are looking all of your presence in the coming event. So sir will decide to when it will be happening. Thank you all.
This is the remembrance, right? So we keep it as a data storage because we deals with the data. So our president want to get a photo of everyone. So can we come forward and we wind up? And before that, I just wanted to get a feedback from our VP, Rajesh Ganesh. He will give a feedback about the program.
I joined Cascade 2 years before. I met first Bipin, and he came back and then said about his institute, and he told me that we have a lot of potential coders with us, and he asked us to give an opportunity for the coders. I have a lot of doubt how they will perform, and we are going to take it as a fresher. We tried 4 people, we took it as a fresher, and the performance is excellent, and Sigma always delivered the quality product. I'm happy about that. See, and when Susan ma'am informed about the HIM, and especially on the RCM cycle, I have only one request for all the coders. Don't put a circle around you, don't stop your career with the coders. See, I have a lot of role models in my life. I have around 17 years of experience in RCM. Still, I'll go to Dr. J, okay, who is my role model. If I have any doubt how to handle the RCM, he is the best guidance for me. He's a coder, okay, and he started his career as a coder, and he is getting to RCM business in a very vast way. See, the way we are thinking and the coders thinking in the RCM is entirely different. We want that kind of mindset people into the RCM cycle. So don't restrict yourself that I'm a coder. No, don't stop it. Okay, you have long way to grow. So I'm expecting all the coders to ladder up, and you have to be a manager, and you have to be a director level or a vice president level in the top C level in the RCM cycle, because the RCM is completely changing, right? See, previously we file the claim and then wait for a denial, and we will work, and then we'll get a payment, everyone is satisfied. Now the complete industry is changing. They're asking fastest collection, how fast you will collect. See, unless you have the coding knowledge, you cannot collect fast. So I'm request you all think in a different angle. Don't put a circle around you for a coding alone. Come up for RCS and give us the. There is a lot of scope and there is a lot of thing you can do in RCM. I welcome you all. I want to see you all in the RCM phase. And I thanks for Bivin for this opportunity. And I'm thankful for his best and quality product. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And one more few things just I wanted to add is like,
I wanted to mention this, but I actually missed out. Like, you know, I see a lot of women faces here. It's based on my experience, and I have one of my student here also who is now an educator, Pradeepa. Okay, she was in a crisis where she had to balance her family with the profession. Okay, so that's a difficult task to make. Even I have had the same experience. So what I would like to emphasize here is for women, best. Because to prove your skill, then you are going to work as remote coders or remote managers. I was the first one who was offered to work, remotely from RevenueMed, which is now the Navigant, by the US team. They put a lot of confidence, and that's what I follow now in my organization also. We have a lot of on-site offshore projects happening, and many of my colleagues are working from or have joined their family in UAE. We give the opportunity because it's very positive, and we don't want the women to be out because it's a lot of detail-oriented, multitasking job. And women are the best, and the men can also do it, but yes. So this is how, this is from my life experience, and I don't know like whether I have any other familiar face, like I can't remote working, and they function exceptionally because it's your skill set that you use, nothing can decide. The organization, once you develop your skill, then you can get anything happen in your life. Sky is the limit. Thank you.
thank you. I want to add like this 2019, as you know, a company called Episodes from Chennai, they have shown good potential for Kerala market. Why? Because they came to Kerala 4 times for recruiting coders from Kerala. That is a great achievement for us. Why? Because one time they came to Trivandrum, 2 times in Ernakulam, 1 time in Calicut, as part of a campus interview. You can see they have come when they have 100,000 of requirement. They came to Kerala and they have recruited many. They have offered 250, more than 250 offerings was given during that job fair. It was conducted by few institutes. It's pretty good that we are doing great effort. So that this kind of activities definitely increase the demand of us. Even you can see, even our coders from Kerala are working in Punjab. In Punjab itself, we have coding companies. Aurangabad, Mumbai, all areas our coders are working. And when I speak with the HR people there, they are very happy with our coders from Kerala. So we have a good potential. Why I initiated for last 1 year? Because we have to have what others have in like Chennai, Bangalore and Hyderabad. That is my dream. We wanted to make our industry stronger. Later on, after a year, this kind of gatherings, this kind of increase in knowledge, everyone should attract more employers, and the employees should feel confidence on our market. This is why I have initiated for this. Even some feel that actually this is not for Sigma, because I feel I started my career as a coder. When I started my career as a coder in 2012, no one was guided me. Even a single guide, there is an opportunity there in company. I didn't get a single information. I myself went to a company called EXL. From there I started my career. So even I feel so sad after completing my education, I didn't get a proper guidance, where to go, how to do, how to achieve my CEOs. That feelings was there in my heart. So I feel that those who are aspiring, those who are studying medical coding should not have this issue. That is why that dream made me somewhat to an extent I did it. So I wanted all the coders should be very qualified. They should not feel any difficulty for their accessibility. That is why I planned initially when they have difficulty in exam center, I initiated I disturbed the sufferers. Sufferers, we need it many times. After that was said, again I disturbed sufferers because now everything near to us. So please utilize, moving forward onwards, just circulate. This is not Sigma's program. It's a growth of our industry, Kerala medical coding industry. This should be taken to the next higher height. Only then we can grow. Instead of going to Chennai, we can go to our info park for a job. Right? Instead of going to Chennai for attending CUs, now it's near to us. Right? Next time we can do it in Trivandrum, in Ernakulam, or in Calicut. It increases the potential to each area. So again, from humble-hearted, please circulate, because this is not the attendance what we expect. Because we know, we expect, because we have a good number of coders over here. Many are in Bangalore, due to the accessibility, it made difficult. But even though moving forward, when we conduct next local chapter, we should make it full. That is the data. When you are entering to the hall, we register, we have taken the data. Right? We can show to another companies for employer, sir, we have this much of coders. We have this much of coders in this area. You can start an operation over here. You can easily get the resources. For an employer, as I said, they are terribly worried about the resource management. If you show that we have a good resource, definitely more companies will confidently open the operation. So moving forward, please make sure, it's a humble request, circulate it, make sure everyone, every coders has to come and join. And the first time we have taken initiation. So moving forward, we require more sponsors. For example, Cascade, Sheep, Episodes team are there, and other companies like Indo-American, many companies are here. So we request their sponsorship, their initiative to open or start next local chapter. I just showed it to other people to take it away. Thank you. Thank you for the participation. Thank you for the great time for being here.